Anthony here from Southern Monograms. I'm just going to run through a few details about beanies. They're obviously quite a low ticket item, great for promotional giveaways and for team building for your internal clients, your employees, um, and your staff. So I just want to talk about the two different styles of beanies first. The first one is what's known as a roll down or a skull beanie, and this just ends like that, and that is quite different from what's called a turn up or a roll up beanie, which has this flap. Okay, the advantages of the roll up beanie is that the back of the embroidery won't brush against the wearer's head, um, because it's got that roll and the inner layer sort of protects you. Whereas if you embroider directly onto the skull beanie, you do have the back of the embroidery which will rub against your head. Some people are fine with that, some people it annoys them. There you can alleviate that problem by using a badge, and then the badge just has a little sewn thing, and that won't rub against anything. That won't cause you any problems. But that's on a roll up anyway. Again, another example of a badge. Now, if we move into the types of logos that we can use on these things, with the roll up, you can use a more portrait style logo because you don't have the limitation on the height that you do with the roll beanie. So this limits you to about 45 mil high, which is quite a low logo. So that lends itself more to what we call a landscape version. So landscape rather than portrait. But you still do have the opportunity to do a reasonably large logo on a rolled up beanie. Right, now let's talk about different fabric types. So the sort of entry level is an acrylic beanie, which is made from acrylic. That will be, I guess, of all the range, some of the least warm, but still quite good. You'd certainly keep you warm if you're outside, but if you're outside for an extended period of time or it's really, really cold, you might want to beef up your options a wee bit. You can then also move into wools, including merino styles, and there's a very basic sort of entry level merino style. Merino's a nice soft product, really nice to wear, reasonably lightweight, but also keeps you very, very warm. So if you've been outdoors in merino and you've worn tops and leggings in merino, most people in New Zealand will know how warm a fabric that is. There are also acrylic options with, this one's got a 3M insulated lining in it, and that's really, really warm. So when we go down for our boys' trips to the Mackenzie country, we use these because they're nice and chunky, and they keep you really, really warm. Then you can get into different types of acrylic beanies and cotton beanies. This one's called a cable knit. It's got a nice wide chunky sort of look to it. And then we've got a fisherman knit. That's got a badge applied to it. That's been appliqued. And then the double roll, so that actually protects quite well. That's quite a fashionable sort of item for people. Then we move into micro fleece. Most people are familiar with fleece, and then sort of a chunkier polar fleece. Probably the least stylish option in polar fleece, but can be very, very warm for people. And then we get into some sort of fashion pom-poms with different pattern fabrics and that type of thing. So it's just horses for courses. In terms of costs, you probably want to be doing around 20 beanies if you don't have enough staff. They're a really good giveaway, and it's nice to see your logo floating around when you're watching your kids play football, or you're at a golf course, or you're at going to the rugby or a sporting event, or you're out socially. So it does carry your brand for quite a period of time at a very low value. You're talking maybe really cheap end, and you're doing in the hundreds, around $8 to $10. If you're only going to do a handful, you might be looking towards 20. If you're double branding, you're front and back, you can be more than that. But yeah, please come and talk to us. We've got a full showroom here. We've got samples. If we don't have the sample here that you want to see, we can get that in. That just takes us a couple of days. Happy to quote up your logos, give you a few options. And if you have seen this video and you tell us that when you make your beanie inquiry, we're going to offer 10% discount until the end of this month. So that's 10% off embroidered beanies if you say you've seen this video until the end of July 2024. All right, thanks very much. Hope that's given people a little bit of an insight into where, what and how things happen in the beanie world. Come down, see us, 252 Annex Road.